regression and resurrection. Toward the awakening of Albion, the reconciliation of dream, desire, and the divine body. The cave of sleep. The human condition is the sleep, consciousness enclosed within its own shell, in the cave of separateness. The self dreams it is awake. To sleep is to curl inward, to return nightly to the womb of matter. Every dream is a rehearsal of birth and a premonition of death, the forgetting of divine continuity. 1/3 of us has never been born. The unborn live within the dreamer. The erotic and maternal region of the psyche, regression as anamnesis. Regression is the memory of wholeness, the soul's way of re-entering origin. To return to the mother is to remember the body as divine. The womb is the first temple. Darkness, the first revelation. The dreamer descending into the cave reenacts conception. The soul's therapeutic regression into the maternal. The past is but the depth of the present, the night side of consciousness where we all still are being born. Resurrection is not the escape from flesh, but its illumination. The glorified body is the erotic body freed from shame. To be resurrected is to feel within repression, sensation as prayer. Vision is the body's awakening to transparency. The resurrected flesh is the imaginational materialized. When Eros and Thanatos reunite, time ends and delight begins. Sex repeats the fall, the divine entering matter through pleasure. Copulation is regression, the longing for reunion with the womb. The woman penetrated is a labyrinth, her body the underworld of return. The phallus bridges separation. It moves between worlds, the living and the dead. Birth, coitus, and death form one trinity, the rhythm of descent and resurrection. The hero's emergence from water is his simultaneous drowning. All birth is death turned inside out. The cave, the bed, and the tomb are one architecture, the place of generation and the place of return. The phallus becomes monument, death hardened into symbol. Stone is erection arrested, virility turned to permanence. The resurrection of Albion is not abstract. It is the return of vision to flesh. To see is to touch with light. The eye is the organ of communion. The imagination is the body thinking, not a ghost, but a glowing nerve. In the redeemed body, every sense becomes intellect, every thought becomes touch. The fall was the division of perception from pleasure. The resurrection is the reunion. The imagination is not fantasy, but memory, the eternal body remembering itself through the finite. The soul's awakening is the body's resurrection into imagination. History is the dream of repression. Time is desire disguised as chronology. The resurrection of the imagination abolishes history by fulfilling it. To awaken is to remember that all events are one event, the eternal return of love. The Sabbath of eternity is not the end of time, but its transfiguration into rhythm. The past released from guilt becomes energy. The future released from anxiety becomes play. Time purified of repression becomes the dance of recurrence, the ricorso of joy. The new polis is the body reconciled with its desire. All political liberation begins in the liberation of the flesh. Eros is not indulgence, but communion, the sacrament of presence. The erotic is the true form of democracy, mutual embodiment without hierarchy. The imagination is erotic because it desires unity without domination. The resurrected society is a community of lovers, bodies without property, souls without debt. Revolution is resurrection, libido reclaiming its own divine nature. Apocalypse means unveiling. Imagination is the removal of the veil. The veil was history, the illusion of separateness woven by time. When the eye opens inward, the cosmos is seen as body and body as cosmos. The apocalypse is not the destruction of the world, but its revelation as infinite intimacy. The light that ends history is not external fire, but inner transparency. The resurrected world is one vast face, the smile of the awakened human form. Albion is the body of humanity as one divine organism. Every individual is a cell in the universal flesh, every thought a pulse of its blood. The resurrection of imagination restores communication among all things. In the universal body, death is nourishment and birth is renewal. Circulation replaces separation. Male and female are not opposites, but alternating currents of divine energy. The imagination is androgynous, Eros and Logos as a single flame. The resurrection of Albion is the awakening of the androgen, the reconciliation of the divided self. The resurrected universe is not work, but play. The body freed from guilt becomes the artist of existence. Creation is not production, but expression, the overflowing of delight. The artist replaces the priest, imagination replaces law. The world is God's artwork, still being revised by desire. In the the resurrection, the divine body plays itself endlessly, becoming what it already is. The true Sabbath is perpetual creation, eternity at play within itself.